Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Triple W podcast, season 2 edition. We are excited to have you here. We are excited that you're listening and keeping up with the Wizards through us. We are four women. We are super excited to do another season about the Wizards, women in sports, and just the NBA in general. And yeah, we're thrilled. We're super excited. We took a long off season, and now we're ready to. How are you, ladies, doing? What's going on?
Good.
Yes, we're back.
Never left.
Awesome. Feels so good to be reunited. Well, we have to start off with our songs of the week. We're carrying it on from last season. Our playlist will be on Spotify. We're starting a new playlist for season 2. It's going to be fresh with all our current faves or our throwbacks. You know, we got to have our throwbacks as well.
Yeah.
So I'm going to start. I chose Dilemma by Nelly and Kelly Rowland. It's just a classic. It's a cute little jam. So got to have that one on our playlist. And with that, I will pass it to Candi. What are you listening to? What's going on?
So, hey, everybody, and hey, ladies. I'm so excited to be here with you all. Now, surprisingly, I'm the one who's good for a throwback. But so surprisingly, I actually have a recent song I love and am jamming to, Essence by Wizkid.
That's a good one.
Love that song.
That's the song of the summer. That
Yes.
yeah.
Well, we're carrying it into the winter, so
yes. Definitely, for sure.
Bre, what are you listening to?
So I just came back from Jamaica. Woo! And I freaking loved it out there. And I know many people, whenever you travel anywhere, it doesn't matter. It's like you just feel different. So it was just great being in Jamaica. And so I'm going to just bring a little reggae vibe to our playlist. And, Bob Marley, everybody knows Bob. But to one of his songs, Them Belly Full, But We Hungry. And I like that song because he's basically saying, like, let go of your worries and just dance and just enjoy life. And, no worries, just be happy about it and keep positive vibes. And so that's my goal for this year, for the rest of this year, and for the rest of life.
I need to listen to more Bob Marley. Yeah. I think I should start. You know what I mean?
Like free and just
All right, Carita, what are you listening to?
Well, in honor of season 2 of the Triple W pod, I'm gonna go with Mace. Welcome back, because we're back, and I think it just makes sense. So I'm going with that. It's a throwback. I think we got a good mix going on. But yeah, welcome back by Mace.
We don't plan this, by the way. We didn't tell each other our songs, so it's a surprise every time. So awesome. Well, we've got our playlist. We're ready to kick off our Wizards conversation. So I gotta pass it to Candi. What is going on with the Wizards? The new Wizards.
Yes, the new Wizards.
New year, new season, new team.
They got new look. They got some new jerseys. Got everything going on. Oh, new coach, new everything. New protocol for media when you go in there is different. So everything is different right now with this Wizards team. And I got to admit, we're all a bit excited about it. So to kick us off, I wanted to play a game that we like to play in Seawall Land and bringing it here to the Triple Dub to play this game with my girls here. And that game is called What's Your One Word? And this game is all about your one word to describe how you're feeling, your initial reactions to the Wizards season so far. It's still early, but can you sum it up into one word? I am going to start with Carita.
Of course. Well, my one word is surprised, because I really thought it would take a bit more time for them to start stacking up wins, because they talked a lot about it in the preseason training camp, about building their chemistry. And then in preseason, they didn't win any games. So I was like, okay, it's going to be a long first half of the season. But I'm encouraged by the fact they've had 5 games that they won so far, and they look good in my opinion, and they can only get better. I think, I'll caveat that, but I think that they can only get better because their chemistry will continue to build as the season goes forward. So I am surprised that the Wizards are sitting at 5-2 with a new team, pretty much.
Mine kind of goes along with that. My word would be confidence, and kind of for the same reason that Carita said, they started off winning no games at all. And even though it is the preseason, people are like, it doesn't really matter. But still, when you're vibing with a new team, and again, for Brad, this is not his first time having to vibe with a new team. And so he's seen where it didn't start off right and how it continued to not go right. So for him, this could have been it could have been whatever. Didn't build his confidence, but it did the opposite. And I think that now he has been more confident, and that reflects on the team as well.
Yeah.
Becca, you're up. What's your one word?
Okay, well, Carita took my word, so thanks a lot.
Oh, sorry.
No, that's okay. I can make my word is wow. Wow to these Wizards, because my words are wow to these Wizards because who are they? So 3 W's, Triple Dub podcast. Who are they? Like, wow, they really shocked me because preseason was rough. Okay, it was very rough to watch. But then, they came into the season and they're smooth, I mean, they look like they've been playing together for more than just a hand. You can count to the amount of games on your fingers. They really haven't spent that much time together, and they haven't been playing without Rui. They haven't been playing without Thomas Bryant, and they were without Spencer for a game, and they were without Daniel Gafford for a couple of games, and they've been playing awesome.
And Brad, he missed the game too. Brad,
he missed the game as well. So it's this roster is so deep. It's just crazy because we haven't seen that in a long time. So I got to go with wow.
Yeah, all of you ladies are saying exactly how I'm feeling. My one word was energy, because I have not seen this level of energy in quite some time, especially this early in the season. To your point, Carita, this early in the season, absolutely was not expecting that at all. So it's all of the things. It's encouraging. We're seeing the confidence. We're like, wow, who are these people? But it's a nice surprise. So I'm going to sum up everybody's one word from that. So speaking of energy, we're going to go to the next topic in the Wizards talk. And I've been watching the games so who is the leader of this team? Now, to be fair, we know that it's Brad's team. Bradley Beal's team.
Candy starting stuff, but okay.
But really, who is the leader on the court? I'm going to start this one with Bre.
Well, I mean, I'm sorry, I'm going to do the cliche answer, but I'm going to still say Beal. And I think because he's not just a leader in being the leading scorer and being the voice on the court, but he's also a leader in the way of incorporating his other teammates. And so I think that's a major leadership skill too, that he's relying, to have the confidence and to rely on his teammates, and that gives them more confidence, which overall builds the team. So I would still say that it is Beal, but I know that you guys have other players, which is a good thing that we have multiple leaders on the team. I mean, that's great. So
absolutely, it is a good thing. It's a great thing, like you were just saying, Bre. So Becca, who do you think is the leader on the team right now?
Well, I will give Bre this. The team is built around Brad. Obviously, they have pieces to complement Brad. He is the center. He is the core of the team. But right now, in my opinion, when Spencer Dinwiddie is on the floor, he's looking like the true leader, and he talks like a leader. I mean, when we've spoken to him and the times that we've gotten to hear from him, he says that the way he carries himself on the court is based on his teammates. He wants to learn how his teammates move, what he can do to make it easier. They're not revolving around him. he's a very selfless point guard. And I think that's going to take him, he's not the most explosive point guard we've had, with Westbrook and Wall and Gilbert, like all those guys. But it's like, wow, like he's so like selfless, and that's going to take him very far. And he's clutch. So he takes shots and he makes them in the moments that the team needs to. So I'm going to go with Spence right now.
Okay, Carita.
Yeah, as we talk, it really has me thinking that this team actually has something that I don't think it's had in a long time, which is multiple leaders. Like, yes, the team is built around Brad, and he is one of the main leaders. I could definitely agree with that. I can agree with Becca, with Spencer. But I'm going to also add to the mix Montrezl Harrell. And the reason is because he brings this energy that the team feeds off of. You cannot be around him and not feed off of his energy. And I think on nights where the team is sluggish or, people are not playing with energy, you need someone like Trez, who is actually, because if you look at the leading scorers so far, it's been Brad, Dinwiddie is right behind him, and then Montrez is third. So you need that on any given night. You need that energy, and they're all feeding off of each other. So I'm adding Trez to the mix.
I love all of the answers, lady. My answer would be Trez. But what I love about all of the answers is that so far in this season, we've seen each one of the players that you all have mentioned be leaders at the right time, right? So we've seen Spencer Dinwiddie be clutch. We know that Trez is bringing the energy. Like that is just, I'm like, can you be my spirit person?
Can you wake me up in the morning? Like,
like I'm going to work today. I feel good. Like, yes, that is Trez. But absolutely, to Bree's point on, when Carita and I were at the game, and toward the end of that double overtime, after they turned the ball over, we saw Brad talking to KCP as they were coming back on the court. You all probably saw it too, as you were watching on TV. We're all watching the same thing. So he was talking to him, and you could tell there was a motivational speech happening at that moment. And then KCP, even though he made a mistake, ended up saving the game. So it's different leadership types. It's a great thing that there's different leaders. It doesn't just have to be Brad.
Right. And I don't want to forget about Kuzma. Yeah. He doesn't have the same leadership. I wouldn't say he's at the same level as the three that we've talked about, but I think that he does take a lot of pride in mentoring the younger players. And he's said that a lot in his press conferences. So I think from that perspective, he's been a good leader too. And also one of those guys that steps up when someone else is down. I mean, Coach Unseld Jr. recently mentioned that on any given night, someone steps up and makes a play for them.
Yes. We have to give an honorary mention to Coach Unseld as well.
Oh yeah, we have a new coach.
Yeah,
I have to get used to saying his name out loud.
Right.
First of all, this guy is awesome. Okay, because he tells the team, he's like, however many stops you would make a game last season for defensive efforts, do the same. At least make one more a game. He's pushing these guys to play defense, and it shows. Like. Yeah. I'm sorry, the leader of this team, maybe it's Wes Unseld Jr. Not forget Harrell and Spencer and Brad. I don't know. It might be the coach.
Yeah, I like you so far, not just because they're winning.
Right. I mean, they look prepared. I mean, of course, some of the games, the last game against Atlanta Hawks, okay, they were due for a game like that, but they were still able to recover and try to fight. One of the things that I really liked that Montrez said in one of his pressers was about Coach Unseld in practice and how he has them running all different types of rotations. Mm-hmm. So they're ready whenever their name is called, whatever group is out there, they've practiced. And I was like, woo, we haven't heard that.
He's built different. Yeah, that coach is built different.
I didn't know at first how it would pan out. But just like listening to him in press conferences, his whole demeanor, like he's calm, he's humble, but you could tell that he knows the game of basketball when he talks and his responses to certain questions. Like I loved his response to a question the other day when so Montrez didn't have the best game against the Hawks. And he was asked, why is that? And his response was, well, teams are starting to know that Montrez is a threat. And so they're going to bring that intensity towards him. And I just was like, I know that sounds like an obvious answer, but it was just it's just very clear that he knows the game of basketball.
Yeah. He's getting them ready. He sees it and he's like, okay, they're targeting Montrez. All right. So yeah, they got to prepare for this. Listen, can you all tell that we're excited? The four of us are very excited, extremely excited. Let's hope it's not for nothing. So anyway, going on to the third question about the Wizards. Yes, we are excited, but ladies, is it too early to be excited? Is it okay to say this Wizards team is legit, or do we need a few more games? How are you all feeling? I think I'm gonna start this one. I think I started the last one with Bre. So Becca, how are you feeling?
You know what? I always try to be optimistic. And to me, I came into this season being like, okay, they're not going to have it figured out for every single game. But the games that they have clearly shown that they've figured it out has been extremely impressive. So I think, yes, we should be excited because they're all hard workers and they all seem to want to win and they all want to play for each other. That's something that is rare, and that's really what's going to carry them far. So I definitely think we should be excited. Of course, we should be excited, but we should expect games like, yesterday against the Hawks when the Hawks, that's the second time the Hawks played us and they had our number. So of course and they were playing phenomenal defense and not letting the Wizards shoot anything but 3-pointers, and we're not a team that can shoot. We can't shoot our way into a game quite yet, but the things that this team has shown us, I think we should be excited. A 5-2 start, good, all things considered.
Absolutely. Carita, what are your thoughts?
I couldn't agree more with Becca. Did any of us think this team would be 5-2 right now? No, we didn't. So it's definitely a lot to be excited about. We all need to see more games, but I wrote an article the other day that said this team hits different. And they do. If you just look at, they have a different energy, a different swag. They have fun together. And this is just the beginning of the season. We see the press conferences. We've all followed this team and covered them for multiple seasons. And there is something different about this team when you see them together. They fight for each other. Kyle Kuzma, Denny missed a shot, or Denny had a bad play in one of the games. I don't remember. But there was a shot of Kyle Kuzma holding his face and encouraging him. So you see this team encouraging each other. They're having fun. They recognize their faults and they all say we have so much work to do. So I like what I'm seeing so far. And I think we do have a lot to be excited about.
Yeah, I agree too with everybody. We have to be excited. We have to. We again, we've seen the ups and downs of the team, but the fact that right now they're in the 4th seed. Of course, it's still early, but they are still on the right path. And so I'm excited. Keep on doing it, Wizards. Keep on bringing it. We love it. We want to see more. So,
yeah. Ladies, I love it. And listen, Wizards fans, take all of the excitement to the arena. Here is the home schedule for November. Listen, they're going to have concerts, all the concert series, that's back. Listen, strike while the iron is hot, right? And hopefully it absolutely continues. Definitely a lot to be excited about. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Bre.
Well, per usual, there's a lot going on in the NBA. It's never a dull moment, right? But I'm going to continue with our Wizards news. And as we've said before, we have another season with a new team, basically. And so for our previous team from last year, I just wanted to run through where a couple of those players are now. So we all remember Bonga. He's now playing with the Toronto Raptors. Troy Brown Jr. is playing with the Bulls. Alex Lynn is with the Sacramento Kings. Garrison, which we all really enjoyed him. He's now with the Rockets. Robin Lopez is with Magic. He's in Orlando. Cassius Winston, he's still local, but he's playing for our G League team, the Capital City Go-Go. So definitely want to support them. Their opening season is this weekend. Ish Smith, our buddy, he returned home. He returned home to Charlotte, and he is playing for the Hornets. And of course, as we all remember the news with Russell Westbrook, he also returned home to play for the Lakers. Were any of these moves shocking?
Yeah.
I mean, mainly I'm talking about Westbrook, but what is this?
I mean, I thought Westbrook was always a wild card. I wasn't sure if he was going to stay beyond that one season or what would really happen. So I can't say I was really surprised, but I just didn't know.
I was surprised that the Wizards let Garrison Matthews go. I was for sure convinced that, you know, with his shooting abilities and just how awesome he's been in crucial moments, especially last season, I thought that they would try to keep him, but, you know, they had to make room for others. So I guess it's obvious now, but before I was pretty shocked. Westbrook, like Carita said, you know, is a wild card, but I think I was more hurt than surprised. I was like, oh, okay, I'll see you later. Like, bye, Westbrook. Bye, Rhodey.
But so far, the Wizards are winning that trade.
They are. It's clear that they're doing great. I mean, they got a haul for Westbrook.
Yeah, they did. I mean, hey, it was a historic season for Russell Westbrook. So I am glad that he became the triple-double king in a Wizards jersey.
Right.
That's what I'll say about that.
That will always be a part of his legacy. So
a lot of record-breaking moments in
definitely. So now we're moving on to some of the off-court things that has been happening within the NBA. Of course, a hot topic, not only within sports, but around the world, are vaccines, as we are still, unfortunately, in a pandemic, in the COVID-19 pandemic. Things are moving in a more positive direction, but we're still in a pandemic. And so there's been a few players that have spoken out against getting the vaccine. Some of those players were Andrew Wiggins, Kyrie Irving, Bradley Beal kind of touched on it, Kent Bazemore, Trey Burke, and Dwight Howard, who he basically just said he doesn't believe in vaccines at all. So for you guys, I know that we all had a few opinions, especially after hearing Brad speak about it during media day. But what is you guys' opinion on players not getting the vaccine, or voicing it or making it, because I mean it's still a part of their job, it's a requirement for their job. So I know it's hard to, we don't have to get political about it, but like what were your opinions on the vaccine and all the drama that's been surrounding it? We can start with Candi.
Yeah, I kind of wish there wasn't a lot of drama around it. I think that was kind of almost like a distraction as the season was starting and everything. And folks do have their own personal beliefs. They absolutely do, and they should hold that right. Basically, for us as media, we have to be fully vaccinated in order to do our jobs on site. And I understand it. It's to keep people safe. Yes, you can still get COVID even though you're fully vaccinated, but your chances of fighting it off increase with the vaccine. So that's how I look at it. It's like, hey, if you want to increase your chances of fighting it, then absolutely get the vaccine. If you feel like, hey, I'll take my chances without it, and that's your belief, then I understand that as well. I'm glad it's not as big of a topic, but as the season continues to go on, it still will be, on everybody's mind. Like we're talking about it now, right? Like it will be on folks' mind. And so I just pray and hope everyone stays safe. And if it comes to the point where folks need to take the vaccine in order to do their jobs and it's required, then I hope they would strongly consider getting the vaccine.
Yeah, I think it's a little inequitable, so to speak, because you made a good point, Candi. media, we have to be vaccinated to go into the arena, and we're not even playing on the court. You know, Kyrie can't play because he's not vaccinated, but then other people have made a point that unvaccinated players are going to play in Brooklyn. So from other teams, like they're going to play in Brooklyn for a game. So it's kind of weird. Like it doesn't seem like there's one rule for everyone. But my biggest thing is to each their own. I just think players need to stop going into so much detail as to why they're not doing it and all their various reasons. It's like that to me is what's making it worse. Yes or no? It's a yes or no question. No. No, I prefer not to. Like you don't have to go into why are people still getting COVID and just all of that. Like to me, that's where it gets a little sticky. It's like your personal opinion doesn't matter. If you don't want to do it, don't do it, I suppose. But we don't need to, I just don't think it's smart to go down that road. And that was one of my biggest problems with the whole vaccine conversation.
And if anybody knows how to answer that question, go to Parks PR.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I have such an issue with it. Like my PR background is like, stop talking.
Certainly a PR. It sounds like it's definitely a PR issue. I think it's better. You don't tell the world your personal opinions about everything. So just like with the vaccine, unfortunately, the pandemic has not just affected the NBA, but it's affected everybody, right? Mm-hmm. And some organizations are like federal organizations are starting to require it too. So the NBA is kind of shifting with the rest of the world. So I guess I would say, I've seen some people. I've heard some people say that they don't want the vaccine and that their jobs and they're okay with that. And you know what? Like me personally, I would not put myself in that position. But some people, they have the right to feel that way. So I think the NBA, there might be some people such as Kyrie, where they lose their jobs and that's the end of that. So it's unfortunate. The NBA is, they're suffering in ways like the rest of us are. Vaccine is always a touchy subject, but for me personally, as long as I know I'm doing my part and I'm taking care of myself and my family and protecting them, then that's all I can do.
Yeah.
I was giggling because me and Candi had the same look on our face when it came to like losing a job over not being vaccinated. We both looking like, I can't afford to do that.
Right. Like I got bills to pay, honey. Like, I've got a lot. Like I've got a dental bill I got to pay. Like, I can't just, no, please stick my arm. Like, come on.
Yes. Yeah. And overall, again, like we all said, like we want this pandemic to pass and we want the best for everyone's health. And so hopefully everything will be resolved and players can keep playing and people can keep living. So anyways, to end on some great news, I am a graduate of an HBCU, Winston-Salem State University. And so this was like great news. And I'm seeing that the NBA is continuing to support HBCUs. And during this year's All-Star Weekend, there will be a game with two of our local HBCUs, Howard University and Morgan State University, and they will meet in Cleveland for a special head-to-head matchup. And so I'm excited to see this. Hopefully this will be the first of many more games that they will be having. And I also wanted to just give a quick shout out to J.R. Smith, who is a former NBA player, as we all know, and he is currently a student at North Carolina A&T, and he's playing for their golf team. So, good luck to you, J.R. Smith. We've all been through college. We know how it is with finals and balancing everything else. So seems like he's doing a good job. And also shout out to Chris Paul, who is also a current student at my alma mater, Winston-Salem State University. So again, good news coming through the NBA. And now we will move on to our woman spotlight, which will be handled by Carita.
One of our favorite segments of the show. So I'll just get right into it. For my sports platform, Double Take Sports, couple months ago, I attended DC's pitch for the World Cup that's in the next couple of years. And during this time, I was introduced to Brianna Scurry. I know a lot of people probably already knew her, but I don't watch soccer religiously at all. So this was more my first introduction to her. So I looked more into her and I'm like, this woman is very awesome. And let me get it right. She's the first Black woman and first female goalkeeper to be inducted into the National Soccer Hall of Fame. And she was also a member of the local soccer team here, the Washington Spirit, right, guys?
Yep.
The Washington Spirit. I should know that. So my apologies. But anywho, I also have a video here that I just want to play to give everyone a little bit of introduction. I want to credit the African American Museum here in Washington, D.C. for this video as well.
I have to honestly say it was so incredibly humbling when they came to me and said they wanted to include me in the museum, because I really didn't realize that what I had been doing with soccer was making that big of an impact on my people, my culture. And I was really, really, really very excited about that, and just really honored. And it was a humbling that I had never felt before in my life. So I'm just really honored and astonished, really, to be included. There were a few times where I realized that I was the fly in the milk, so to speak, for women's soccer in particular, not only because I was the only African American female on the team for several decades.
Yeah, so like I said, she's very awesome. And if you're not into soccer, then you may miss out on an amazing woman. So I definitely wanted to spotlight her in our first Women in Sports segment of season 2.
Yay.
Awesome.
Did we really just make it through a podcast in 30 minutes? There's no way. There's no way. You know what?
Looks like we did.
We're professionals now, season 2. Come on.
We're
It
back.
was great.
We're back. You know what? We're starting the season off on a good note. The Wizards are starting it off on a good note. So let's just keep it going, ladies. With that being said, I guess it concludes. You got to follow us on Twitter and Instagram at @WPod. Follow our socials. If you want to talk trash, don't talk trash to me. I'm good. I've got enough problems. Follow me at Becca MVP. You can follow Bre at Vids by Bre. Carita, our PR maven at Carita C. Parks, and our of all DC sports, Miss Seawall herself at Seawall Sports and Entertainment. She also has a Facebook show Mondays and Thursdays, I think now. She's a very busy lady, so you got to keep up with her. If you're not keeping up with Seawall, then I can't help you. Ladies, it's been a pleasure, and we will see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.